In this video, we're going to talk about what was the main reason for buying the Tesla stock, the technicals as well as the fundamentals, and where do I think in short term this stock could go to. That's all beautiful reasons we could or things we're going to discuss in this video. All right. But before that, let me just introduce myself. Hey guys, I am Mahesh Patil, a stock market trader and investor. If you're watching me for the first time and if you're looking towards focusing on creating a US stock market based portfolio, this is going to be a perfect channel for education purpose. Of course, it's not for advice or any kind of recommendation, but you'll get to see how I'm able to create my journey where I started from $0. Now the portfolio has reached almost to $700 plus dollars. Okay, so let's get started and let's try to understand what was the reason for me buying the Tesla stock. So let's begin with technicals. So if I go looking purely at technical basis, all right, so Tesla had corrected. The high it had made was around about at 480 reasons, and from there the stock has been collapsing, and every time it is making a lower high, a lower high, a lower high, a lower high, and finally it tried to bottom out over here in this range. And finally yesterday or for that matter in Friday's session, the stock has managed to close above the critical 200 simple moving average. So this is a critical closing which the stock has taken, and not just that, if you look at the overall structure, it has formed a bottom, a kind of another head, and another kind of bottom. So kind of, if you look at it, it's forming a clear inverse head and shoulder formation, and of which it has broken out of this neckline, almost kind of broke out through this neckline and closing just above the 200 simple moving average. So this is the primary reason for me to initiate a trade, and I have bought this stock around about at 296 point something, so roughly you can say around about like 297 levels. So going forward, what could be the targets for this particular stock? All right, so just by going by pure technicals, if I look at previous resistance zone, the first clear targets works out to be somewhat in this zone. All right, this is the first zone where the targets work out to be. That's also pretty much far away, which is roughly, if you take in percentage term, it's more than 20%. And for me, I'm going to expect, if I'm taking a short term trade, my minimum target is going to be at least 20% on the upside. All right. And of course, long term targets work out fantastically on the Tesla stock. But let's first get to this particular target of $370, and then we can go ahead and look into it. Currently, I am just holding a one single share in this stock at 297 levels. So as I've started to build my portfolio recently, I'll come to my portfolio also, how it is shaping and everything. But this is so far what I feel is right at 297. Easily the target could be at 370 is where I'm looking to sell. Okay. Now let's go and try to understand what are the other fundamental reasons behind Tesla. All right, it is one of the most expensive traded companies. All right, no doubt about it. The PE is currently at 169.47, a ridiculous PE ratio. Okay, but sometimes we need to value such company looking at other things also. It's just not pure car maker now. All right, if you have not known, Tesla is also ventured. Okay, Tesla is also ventured into other things like, let me just bring up that thing. So other thing is the robo taxi. The robo taxi. All right, so again, this is going to be something totally new for the market as an offering, and I think so. For me, looking at the concept, if you look at it fundamentally also, I mean, anybody would love to ride solo into the ride without the cab driver, and for that matter, depending every time what kind of cab driver I'm going to get. Is he going to drive rash, or is it going to be like very slow, or I don't know, whatever, or the cab driver could be annoying for that matter. So again, this concept of robo taxi is again going to be totally amazing, and it's just not just about this. Okay, so they're already into AI, they're already into robotics. Okay, so down the line, the humanoid angle, the human robots, okay, the angle is going to be playing a lot in long term for the stock. But in extreme short term, the reason why the stock could climb is because China and US, I think so, are closer, okay, not exactly, but kind of closer towards itching towards the trade deal, because again, there's a huge market of Teslas in China. To be specific, I was just researching about it. They occupy, like example, the wholesale, so sales of Model 3, including exports, were around like 24,000 units, down to 18% from 30,000 a year earlier. That's for the month of March. So it's a pretty huge amount of volume they are doing. I think so, roughly 3% of China's market of EVs. So that's a pretty huge number. It's coming, and again, the China and US deal, whenever it's going to take place, okay, the trade deal finalization, this is definitely going to give the stock a big thumbs up. So that's another short term technical reason. All right. Further, this news with respect to India head resigning is not going to make any difference as such. But again, Tesla coming to India, all right, it's going to be pretty interesting because people are very fascinated with the brand Tesla, just like Apple's iPhone. A lot of people want to own a Tesla, and India being a huge market, okay, for luxury cars also for that matter, I'm sure there are going to be plenty of takers whenever Tesla gets launched within India. I think so the bookings are going to be through the roof. Maybe we could be even, the Indian market could be even bigger than China for that matter with respect to their unit sale, which could happen on monthly basis. All right. So this again is going to be a huge news grabber in coming days, and definitely India is going to account for a major portion of Tesla's overall global sales. All right. So these are some of the reasons I think Tesla should be in my portfolio. Hence, I started with a single share position. And overall, just to show you my overall as of now, the portfolio as which I started roughly on, to be specific, on 5th of, no, actually on 6th of June, 6th of May 2025. Today is like 11th of May. I've been adding stocks, and so far it has reached roughly in the range of $700, $716 to be specific, and unrealized gains as of now sitting at $0.45. So what am I planning to do in this portfolio? Mainly I'm looking to trade as well as invest. If I'm going to trade the stock, at least the stock should be jumping at least by 10% to hope to recover all my costs. All right, the brokerages and other taxes and etc. So minimum 10% what I'm targeting on this stock. And apart from that, if I'm looking for an investment, it could be for more than a year for that matter. Of course, in that I'm looking for more than 100% or maybe 10 bagger gains in those stocks for the matter. Okay. Anyways, whenever I'm going to transact, I'll be posting a video. If I'm not transacting in a particular week, at least once a week I'll be posting a video for sure. All right. But there are other few stocks which I've added in my portfolio, which I'll be covering in my upcoming videos, slowly one stock at a time, with reasoning why I have bought those stocks. All right. Hey guys, once again, this is Mahesh Patil, and have a wonderful day ahead. Bye bye.